right. Ready, steady.
Hold on.
Rock and roll.
Okay.
It's always Glenn. It's
No,
always Glenn.
I was messing around with my camera. It's in a different area.
Hello, my friends.
Thank you for joining us for the PEBCAK Podcast, a weekly information security show featuring some all-around good people. It is week 46 of 2023. I'm Chris Louie, and I got bit by a spider while working on my garage this weekend. I'm
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Does whatever a spider
can. That's right.
With me, I have my co-host, the hot dad who regularly deals with tarantulas the size of dinner plates.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty big over here in Arizona. But today I'm actually in San Jose at the mothership. Had an EBC today with a customer. Had a good time. Then we went to dinner, and then it was super late, and I realized I had to record the podcast, so I ran out of there as fast as I could to get over here on time. But it was still freaking 21 minutes late.
I will appreciate the hustle.
Would you go 5 miles in 30 minutes? Is that right? Is that how far?
Something like that. Yeah.
That sounds reasonable for San Jose night traffic.
Ugh.
It wasn't too bad getting back, honestly. It was the ride there took like 40 minutes, but we got back in 16 minutes. But still had to wait for the Uber.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Everybody's judging me because I ate a steak, but apparently it was really big. Whatever.
Why, were they worried about your carbon footprint from all the beef you ate?
I think so, yeah. If anything, I'm reducing the carbon footprint, right? That's one less cow farting.
Did you have a steak at a vegan restaurant? You brought it yourself.
You know what's funny is, I think when I first became an architect, I think we went up to Seattle to go meet with some big company, and Jeff Ostemiller was there, and he was like all gun ho and going out to dinner, and the customer wasn't feeling it, and so I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna go do my own thing." So I think I remember walking to like a Whole Foods because the hotel I was staying at actually had a barbecue outside, like a propane barbecue. So I went and bought
like a little grill pit.
Yeah. So I bought a big old ribeye, came back, cooked it,
Raw.
realized I didn't have.
Right.
No, it was medium rare, but I realized that I didn't even have like a knife or a fork. So I sat in my hotel room, just like eating it,
Caveman style.
Caveman style. You know, when the juices went all the way down to my chest mop, right? A little something for my wife later. And then I put the plate down and whatever, kind of forgot about it. And the next morning I went to get dressed, and I realized that where I put my plate down, I had thrown like my shirt that I was supposed to wear that day, and like, the sleeve got
giant oil stain.
into bloody juices. Yeah. So I had to wear the exact same thing again. So I was all telling Jeff, I'm like, man, I actually brought another pair of clothes, but you know, it didn't work out. And he's like, you're weird. He's like, we could have went out to dinner.
He was regretting referring you for that job immediately.
Did it look like you had murdered somebody with all that blood?
No, I didn't even wear it. Yeah. But the funny part was, like, this is back in the day, like when at the last time I had ever read the expense policy for Zscaler, it was like literally $25 per meal. Like, it was like 25 for breakfast, 20. Yeah. I didn't know this, but it was as high as like 250 for a day instead of 75. So I thought I was saving the company money by, you know, grilling my own steak and being a good little boy. But
yeah,
whatever.
I meant. You bought a raw steak from Whole Foods and you cooked it on the grill at the hotel.
Yes, that's
nice.
exactly what I did. Sorry. Now I smell what you're cooking.
Yeah.
Nice.
And our expense software actually now, if you be frugal, it puts a little flag that says, "Thank you for saving the company money."
Does it really?
Yeah, you haven't eaten cheap meals, so you haven't seen that one yet.
No, I haven't.
Or if it's a little expensive, but it's within policy, it says, "Hey, this looks a little high."
Oh gosh.
There's a shame in you.
Does it also take into account areas that you are like that you're in? Like, hey,
No,
you're not going to get around
whatsoever.
for like $100 for a meal, and
Right, like when I have to park in San Francisco and it's like $50 a day, like red flag. Why are you spending $50 on parking? And then for my justification, I put it's San Francisco, yo. They never get it back. They understand.
Yeah, I had a weird one the other day. I think I split a check with somebody, And so I expensed it. So like the check was like $1,000, right? And so my portion was half. And they kicked it back because the expensed amount didn't reflect what was on the check. So I'm like, you rather have me say that I paid $1,000 as opposed to this the $500? Like, I don't understand like why we're being jerks about this. But whatever. Anyways, we have a podcast to record, guys.
Expense reports are a really fun topic for our listeners. So let's keep talking for the next hour about expense reports.
It'll be part of our SE book one day. So.
We can talk about it for our imaginary SE podcast.
Yeah.
And we have Glenn Medina, who finally has to cover up his pool for winter. It's gotten pretty cold up here in Northern California.
Wrong. When it rains, you uncover the pool because all that extra weight on top of the pool cover will actually cause damage to the pool cover. So it's uncovered right now due to the cold weather. Not to the cold weather, to the rain that we just recently had. So, yeah.
Do you have that many trees that you get like debris in your pool? I don't understand. What's the pool cover about?
So rainwater. The rainwater will fill it and collapse it.
Yeah.
But exactly. No, like why even have a cover to begin with?
Well,
I don't understand that.
My neighbors have well, not just bugs, but leaves and stuff like that. But
children.
Yeah, it's unlike Phoenix, where there aren't any trees. Right, we've got trees here in California, pine needles and stuff like that from the redwood trees and bugs, and it's an insurance thing. So in California, I think you have to have two forms of protection on the pool. One is either a gate or 2 gates or a pool cover, and I chose the pool cover because it seems to be a lot better than having to worry.
I'm going to run for governor of California, and instead of calling them pool covers, I'm going to call them pool condoms. I'm going to win solely based off of that.
Yeah, my vote, Brian.
In the winter, in the summertime, there's a side effect, and it actually keeps the pool warm. It gets the pool warmer about a month, 2 months ahead of time. So
it's like a really blanket.
That's right.
Is that a power one, or do you have to go out there and roll it yourself?
Oh no, I spent just as much. It was a third of the price of the pool, basically.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Pro tip: we should open up a pool cover company.
Yeah, we should.
Let's do it.
PEBCAK pool covers.
No, I guess this week, as we were recording very late at night, since this was the one time we were all available.
Mainly Glenn's problem.
My fault.
Yeah.
Both of you guys made me put it there.
Well, you're like a little...
Wait, no, hold on.
I'm off on Friday.
Yeah, I'm off on Friday. I can't do anything on Veterans Day.
It's true. You should be enjoying your day as someone who served our country proudly.
Thank you.
And not you, you coward.
Yeah, we thank you for your service. We thank all the veterans out there for their service. Thank you for your service on this Veterans Day here in the U.S.
Absolutely.
You are all better men and women than I will ever be. I appreciate y'all.
A programming note for our listeners.
From all of us.
As you may have noticed, we've had fewer guests on the show this year because of all of the scheduling conflicts. It's getting harder for us to find the time to record the podcast together. With that said, we'll be taking the entire month of December off for the podcast to give me and my co-hosts a mental health break. With the holidays coming up and an impending move for me, we thought it would be best to take the month off and start again in the new year. We'll record 2 bonus episodes before we take our break and release them 2 separate weeks in December. After 138 plus straight episodes, it's time we took a break.
Now, with that said, if there is something crazy going on, maybe we'll have like an emergency episode, right?
Okay. Yeah. December's always a quiet month for InfoSec, right?
Not true.
Combined, we have decades of information security experience in here, not just to educate, but to entertain. We've got our usual 4 awesome stories for you this week, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. This week, we're going to talk about Apple's new privacy feature. A massive botnet disappears overnight. For our third topic, the rise of AI-based crime is alarming. And close with hotel talk. For our first topic, Apple continues to enhance their security and privacy. In iOS 17.2, the next release for the mobile operating system. They are adding a new feature called iMessage Contact Key Verification, or CKV, for when someone you are having an iMessage chat with changes phones or adds a new device to their account. iMessage will now alert you to that. Signal already does this today, but Apple is finally adding it to iMessage. The thought is that if someone has phished or stolen your iCloud credentials, they can log into a new device as you and impersonate you to your contacts, and they will not know that they are chatting with an imposter. Now, when someone gets a new device or adds a new one to their account, it will display a unique identifying code called a contact verification code for the new device, and you can contact the person you're chatting with out of band through a phone call, a FaceTime, or an in-person meeting to ask if the contact verification code matches the new device they added. Good move, Apple.
So, I mean, I guess you could use Signal to verify that as well. But I guess we're going to know when all my rich friends get new phones from now on, which is like every year for Christopher Louis. And every 10 years, and every 10 years for Glenn.
For Glenn. Rocking the iPhone 8 with the home button.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with the iPhone 8. What's wrong with you guys? It's still supported, right? So it's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's no longer supported. I think the iPhone 10 has the latest one to receive the security updates.
Uh-oh. I still use
Can you even can you even log into any new device without MFA? Like, why? This is great. CKV is here, but I almost wonder if it's kind of a, hey, look, we're doing more security, guys.
I
that's
believe
the whole purpose of MFA.
Someone can fact check me, but I believe MFA is still optional for Apple devices. I don't think it's mandatory.
I think we have to fact check because my wife has MFA turned on, and if there's a person in this world that hates that service, would be my wife, and she would never in a million years turn that on by default.
But she's part of your iCloud family, so you might have that at a family setting level.
It's also one of those, like, if you play with and you turn it on, you can't go back either, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it was important enough that Apple built a complete feature around it, and the thought process could be either via social engineering or a phishing toolkit that you could phish that MFA code.
LinkedIn has an MFA, which is like mind-blowing. I don't know why you'd have that. And you can even do Face ID for that. So every time you open it up, it prompts.
You know who we should have on the show? Brett James. He works here. He had a crazy story about his phone getting stolen at a concert in Las Vegas he was at, and it showed all the usual signs, like his phone showed up in Vietnam on the Find My iPhone, and then he got all these phishing emails for his iCloud account because they couldn't deactivate the Find My on his iPhone without logging into his iCloud account. And that's exactly why. They want to phish you so they can see their credentials, log the device out so they could resell it, because if they don't turn off Find My, then it's only good for parts.
Well, I think you just told the whole story, so great job. We don't need your breath.
That's the Cliff Notes version. So that's the teaser. Like, you know how you go to the movie theater and there's a teaser trailer before the story, the movie. So we'll get him on one day. He'll be able to tell the story. It's interesting. He wrote 2 lengthy LinkedIn posts about it. It's a good story.
Well, I think I read that one. It was a while back, if I remember.
I love movie previews. Like if I'm going to go watch Spider-Man or something like that, and it's got like coming this summer, right? Those movie previews, love it. If I'm at home and we're trying to figure out what movie we're going to watch and they want to put on the preview, I feel like I don't even want to watch the movie if I watch the preview. 'Cause I feel like, oh, yeah, I'm just like, so anytime like we sit down to actually do that, I leave the room. I'm like, I don't care. Just find something. I just don't want to watch.
Who got in trouble
preview.
for that was Disney. So when Disney first released Blu-rays, they had unskippable previews on their disc, and they got into a lot of trouble with that.
I remember that.
Well, who was the one that passed out the Reacher previews today? Was that
me.
you, Brian? Oh, was that you, Chris?
No, that was me. So Brian told us the new season's coming. We should actually be sponsored by Amazon because this show is so awesome. I tell everybody about it. I want everybody to watch it. So Reacher, exclusively on Amazon Prime. Season 1 is out. Go watch it. It's amazing. Season 2 starts December 15th. Set your calendars. Also looks really amazing. The trailer for Season 2 just dropped today.
and
Reacher, I don't even know her.
Nothing against Tom Cruise. This Reacher is actually looks like the Reacher if you were to read the book. So,
right, yeah, because in the book, so it's based on the book, and the book says that he's a huge friggin' guy, and then they chose Tom Cruise, the shortest action hero possible, to play him in 2 of the movies.
They make him look tall. That's what it is.
Yeah,
but,
this guy.
What's the guy's name?
He's like
Alec.
He's like a smaller version of me.
Not Alec. What's the guy's name? Something. What's the guy's name? The main character, Alec Brixton.
I don't care.
I'm horrible.
I'm not fangirling over this dude.
He's a good. He is a good Reacher. He is portraying himself as an amazing action hero star without ever starring in a movie. Although he's in the last Fast and Furious. Alan Richter. Just remembered it.
Alan Richter.
Yeah.
He played. He played on Hunger Games too, didn't he? He was one of the kids. He got bigger. He got bigger from Hunger Games.
Yeah, he got huge. He got huge to play Reacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he in the first season you could see his unit. The guy was whew. Is it hot in here?
Brian replayed that scene about 100 times. Not gonna lie.
So much girth.
Jeez, Brian.
The rewind.
I'm messing with Chris because he's going to edit this out.
I'm not. I'm leaving this in.
We'll see if you do it.
All right. Well, going back to Apple, there's some real world use cases for this feature, and that's exactly why Signal put it into their app from practically the beginning. Someone going through a divorce, an angry ex-lover could enroll a new device and impersonate their spouse and find out if they have been having an affair or snoop in on conversations with their attorney. Governments can also spy on their citizens by enrolling a new device as them to passively eavesdrop on their communications. And just a thought, so if Tim Cook, he's probably a listener of the show, so if you're out there, this would probably be a good feature for lockdown mode. So if you enable lockdown mode on your iCloud account, if your iCloud account's in lockdown mode, you cannot enroll any new devices. It's very similar to freezing your credit after a data breach.
That would be cool. Just the ability to just go in lockdown mode is just awesome. Would be awesome, right?
All I know is that if Chris ever gets divorced, Grace, watch out. He's going to be trying to talk to you or eavesdrop on your friends, your attorney. Like, why would you even care?
Too late. He's already got everything of hers cloned.
I respect the privacy of my spouse very much, so.
Yes, you do. You're a good old boy.
All right, for our second topic, it's been a while since we had a good botnet story. Researchers over at ESET discovered that someone used a kill switch function to take down the Mozi Botnet. The Mozi Botnet comprised of hundreds of thousands of vulnerable IoT devices, and on August 8th and August 16th of this year, two kill switch commands were sent to the devices, and they were all cleansed, bringing an end to the botnet that's been around since 2019. The kill switch command was signed by the same private key used to sign the original binary, leading many to believe that Chinese law enforcement either got a hold of the private key and sent it themselves, or that they coerced the botnet's creators to shut it down, as they were arrested back in July 2021. Mozi was a peer-to-peer botnet that operated with the BitTorrent protocol. It was primarily used for DDoS attacks, data exfiltration, and command or payload execution, so good riddance.
I heard that the switch was actually /Hitler. It was good old botnet cleansing.
Oh my God.
I was hoping to get that out of Glenn.
I lose all the jokes. I lose it. I just unbelievable.
Why do you think they programmed a kill switch in there? Do you think that's like best practice when we're writing botnets and malwares is have a little kill switch? Just in case
probably a good idea.
The robots. Is there a ChatGPT kill switch?
There was that job posting a while ago that said ChatGPT kill switch engineer, $300K a year, and all your one job is if ChatGPT ever becomes self-aware, you just throw the switch and turn it off.
But was that real?
Probably not. That's a joke.
No.
But WannaCry, if you remember WannaCry back in 2017, that had a kill switch domain. and then Marcus Hutchins activated it and stopped the spread of the virus. So something like that is probably a good idea to build in, because if you remember many, many, many years ago, if you remember the Morris worm, so that was one of the first worms that got out there in the 80s, that really got out of control, took down almost the entire internet, which was hundreds of computers back then. And he didn't have a kill switch. He just said you gotta do X, Y, and Z to protect your systems. But just in case something gets out there in the wild and there are unintended consequences, probably a good idea to have some kind of kill switch.
You mean like attack yourself, or ends up attacking everybody, even your own systems and whatnot?
Just like WannaCry. Like WannaCry could have ended the internet if Marcus Hutchins didn't turn it off. So I don't know at what point North Korea would have turned this kill switch on, but it was bad. I remember being live when that happened.
So I just asked ChatGPT, what is the oldest botnet that's still around? But it's just throwing some stuff out here, some worms. Zeus.
Yeah, Zeus would be
Z-Bot.
one. Like, there's still
It's
like
the most popular.
Nimda and Code Red. I'm sure there's still that.
No
bouncing
way,
around
really?
Out there on the internet. Yeah, I'm sure there's still Nimda and Code Red infected computers out there.
Holy cow. That's like going way back time machine.
Yeah, but Zeus, that's at least 10 years old when the original banking Trojans now turned into a botnet.
So I remember when I first found out, and by the way, I'm not saying that I'm responsible for NIMDA, but I do kind of feel like it was my idea. So I think I was like in 8th grade, and I found out like there was like there's BIOS passwords. So when you turn on the computer, like you'd have to type in the BIOS password. And I was like, oh, you know what? I'm doing some system level CNET craziness. And I was about to cuss right now, but I decided not to do it. So anyways, I made the password METSYS. It was system backwards. And I thought I was so clever. And then I was like helping out the teacher. She's like, yeah, we can't get the computers on. I was like, oh, you don't know about the secret command? And then I typed in METSYS. I thought I was so cool. I wasn't, though.
Zero cool. You were zero cool.
Zero cool. Gosh.
Slightly above average.
Now we're going
Hack
hackers.
the planet. Hack the planet.
Yeah. Don't you know there's
I need
a
to go
pool
back to
at the roof?
The roof. Yeah, the roof of the school. There's a pool.
Oceanfront property in Arizona. It's a great country song.
I have a feeling Brian hasn't watched this. He's not getting any of our references.
No, he's not at all.
Yeah, what are you guys talking about? I don't even know.
The movie Hackers from the 90s. Hack the planet. Hack the planet.
No? Still?
No, I never saw it.
Oh,
All
dude.
right. This is a mandatory watch on our guys trip then.
That's
Is it going to be real though?
It's got Angelina Jolie.
legit?
It's got Angelina Jolie in it.
Yeah, and a very, very young Johnny Lee Miller.
Who the heck is Johnny Lee Miller?
It's the guy from Elementary, UK actor. He was in season, I believe, 3 of Dexter. He was the bad guy, Jordan Chase.
Oh, okay. How
See,
about we just watch Mr.
Dexter.
Robot? Dexter's a good one. I'll tell you what.
That and Boiler Room. That's going to be on the list.
Yeah.
Coffees for closers.
That's right.
We don't
That did
pitch
not come from
the...
there.
No, that's a different movie. Coffee for Closers. Is a different
Yeah,
movie.
that's
Come on
Glenn
now.
Gary Glenn Ross.
Yeah. That's
Which is
actually a boring
referenced
movie.
in the movie. Yeah.
That's
Boiler
actually
Room was way
That's the
better.
one good scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Look
right,
at the
way off
smile.
topic yet.
Ear
again.
to ear.
For our third topic, this was the topic for last month's Darknet Diaries episode about voice impersonation and the various ways people are extorting victims using AI.
Called it.
For the Darknet Diaries episode, it focused on India and the new kinds of scams over there. A victim gets a call pretending to be a relative and they say they're in big trouble. One example was a man that went to a nightclub and someone he was with almost killed a bartender there, but now he's being charged with the assault. The call sounds very convincing, and when the victim's relatives hands the call over to someone who claims to be a lawyer, they ask for a few $1,000s to start the defense, but they need it right away, and they need it by Western Union, or else the relative is going to jail for at least 20 years.
Western Union. Oh my gosh.
Bye-bye, Grandma.
Yeah.
I think anytime anything begins with Western Union, you just got to know it's not going to end well.
That and Target cards, right? Target gift cards.
Gift cards, Western Union, all huge red flags. But in the developing world, and maybe even in India, they might not be as educated to these types of scams out there. And when you listen on the Darknet Diaries episode, they actually play the audio, or they recreate the audio of it. It sounds pretty darn convincing, so you'll have to listen to it. I could see why people might fall for it.
So no accent, pure English.
No, it's an accent because they're trying to mimic the sound of their relative, but it's sort of it's like bad connections, garbled a little bit. So if you have like a cousin or something you haven't talked to in a while, you might not know, this is their exact voice, and they know enough details to make it convincing that says, oh yeah, my dad had a heart attack last month, and I can't tell my dad because he had a heart attack, and if I tell him again, he might have another heart attack, it might kill him. So they know details, like very specific details of the people that they're attacking, and to make
could you imagine Brian would be like, I hate that uncle.
Well, that's the uncle that used to touch me.
Good Reddits.
Right, it's like, let him rot in jail.
Who?
I feel like I actually heard this story, maybe not in Darknet Diaries, but I remember hearing the audio, or maybe I just saw like some video. But yeah, it was like someone's daughter's crying, and it sounds just like her. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, so the new twist, so you might be referring to the new one. So a new twist on the scam, which will be presented by Trend Micro at the upcoming Black Hat Europe, is AI-powered fake kidnappings. One story they detail is of a mother who got a convincing call from someone claiming to be her daughter, and then the kidnappers demand a ransom payment. The scam was well researched, as the daughter was halfway around the world attending a ski academy. The scammers also called the real daughter, pretending to be a wrong number, to get a voice sample from her to synthesize using an AI voice generator. Luckily, the mother was able to get a hold of her real daughter and determined that it was actually a scam. Had the hackers did something like a SIM swap attack against the daughter's phone, that could have made the story even more convincing because the mother would have no way of contacting her daughter.
How wild would it be if like the mom's like, ugh, really? Susie's gone? You got her? Just keep her, right? And just hangs up the phone. And 6 months later, it's like, it's Thanksgiving, and Susie shows up. Like, what the hell are you doing here? You're supposed to be dead. We thought we were rid of you. That'd be terrible. But yes, this is the one I had actually heard.
This is terrible. Could you imagine having to deal with something like that, and then it's like, oh gosh,
I've told realizing it was a scam.
Yeah. The scams are getting more inventive, right? So, just like the ones where you get a text saying, "This is your CEO. Please give me. I'm in a meeting, but please give me a call later on, or text me when you're available." And it's like, oh god.
And one of the things that Jack, or Reciter, talked about on the Darknet Diaries is that he has relatives, and he's gotten into fights with some of his relatives that they're estranged, so that somebody could turn him in and try to do the scam on him. So Jack said that he tells people he cares about, this is a code word, and if you're ever kidnapped, give the kidnappers this code word, because if they don't give me the code word, I'm not going to believe that they actually have you. So that's one of the steps you can take. That it's not kind of an awkward conversation to have, but it's a good security measure that if anyone's ever kidnapped, you have to say this code word. Otherwise, I know this is a scam and I'm going to hang up.
What's the code word? Give me the word. What's the code word?
Big Mac.
Big Mac.
Is that yours?
I love the McRib.
McRib. That's the code word.
Oh my gosh.
Or McRib backwards. What is that? A Burkham?
A Burkham. I'm sorry. Did you say code word or safe word? Because I'm confused. Two wildly different things. So make sure that we're on the same page here.
Hey, speaking about AI, have you guys heard any of the new ones where the AI powered, like, find out if your spouse is cheating on you type stuff? Have you seen that?
No. What's that about?
I have not. What kind of AI would do that?
Well, I guess what they do is they set up the AI sets up these Tinder accounts or these social networking accounts and tries to search for your wife, and then it tries to get a match and see if they'll go on a date with your fake AI setup.
So there was a radio show. So this is probably 15 years ago, maybe more. There's a radio show. They used to do a segment called The Love Trap, and they would do exactly that.
They still do that.
Balthazar and Maria. I vividly remember that. And there'd be segments that they would, a spouse would call in the radio station and says, I think my husband or I think my wife is cheating on me. So let's say it's a wife calling the radio station and they says, my husband's cheating on me. I'm pretty sure. So the radio station would call the husband and say, hey, did you buy a car at this dealership? You're like, yeah, I did buy the car at this dealership. Well, you won a prize. So you have, 2 concert tickets to this Beyonce concert. I just need to know the name of the person you want to bring. So we have a ticket for your name. Who do you want to bring? And then they would give the name of the mistress, and then the wife would jump on. I was like, who is this? Who is this? Why are you not taking me?
The good ones are the ones that it's like, yeah, I want to take my wife, right? And then and they'd say, and then they're like, oh, okay, hey, just want to let you know that you're very loyal to your wife. She's on the line, and the guy goes, oh my God, Maria, are you seriously doing this again? Now, of all things, don't you? What do I have to do to show you my trust? Oh my God, you're just bat crazy.
So, what's funny about that is I was in Seattle, and I don't know if it was Uber back in the day, but I was talking to this guy. He's like, oh, where are you from? I'm from Arizona. He's like, do you ever listen to John, Jay, and Rich? I'm like, yeah. They're like a local celebrity, I don't know, morning show. He's like, are you familiar with War of the Roses, which is very much like The Love Trap? I'm like, oh yeah, listen to it all the time, man. There's some real scumbags on there. He's like, yeah. He's like, I'm the scumbag. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, we're just voice actors. We just we pre-record all that stuff. It's not, none of those stories are actually true. I'm like, shut up. Are you serious? He's like, every single time. He's like, you have no idea. Like, who's gonna pick up the phone at 6:30 in the morning and have this conversation? Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, you're kind of right. Now it's starting to make sense. But yeah, it was like, I was like, what? So let down. I was like, they've been messing with me this whole time. And I stopped listening to him altogether.
You know what I say with the War of the Roses? It's like, oh yeah, I'd like to send it to my mom.
Yeah.
Because I love my mom.
Yeah.
That's the same.
I'm going to send it myself.
Right? Yeah.
To Brian. Love Brian.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's interesting though, because AI is the new area people are going into, and that's just going to be one of the side effects that people choose to use the technology this way.
So,
by the way, going back to your original thing here, you don't need AI to tell you that your spouse is cheating on you if they have a Tinder account. Like, let's think about that real quick.
Or an Ashley Madison account.
Yeah.
Like, there's the urban legend. There's an SE at an unnamed security vendor that put a security device at the edge of their network, and just for either testing purposes or like, yeah, I'm going to send all my home traffic through this security device, and then found out his wife was having an affair because he saw all this traffic going to ashleymadison.com. He's like, well, I'm not going there, so who else in the house is going there then?
His kid.
Grandma.
Yeah. Hey, so these guys, I guess these companies or these attackers, they're creating their own LLM engine. I mean, what are they doing here? They're not taking ChatGPT and creating something like this, right? They're basically creating their own AI from this.
Yeah, there's some services out there that use AI to impersonate voices. So there was actually a story on our local news, NBC News, that our CEO, Jay Chaudhary, somebody impersonated his voice and basically did the gift card scam that said, hey, I'm in a meeting right now. The connection's bad. I'm going to text you, but I need you to do something for me. And that was a completely synthesized AI voice. And then, of course, the text message comes through and says, I need these gift cards. Send them to me.
So they're probably just buying the audio. They're typing it in, buying the audio that comes out of that, and then sending that. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, there's some services out there So if you remember, was it Don Ruckles? So he passed away before Toy Story 4 was completed. And he was one of the voices. I think he's the voice of Ham, maybe? He was one of the voices. But essentially they said they used all his past recordings to synthesize his voice so that he could be in Toy Story 4 and live on as the character. So this is something very similar with the power of AI nowadays. Toy Story 4 was 4 years ago. So think of the advancements now that you can make really convincing voice audios of people that sound like him.
Well, they can do video too, right? Because Princess Leia had passed away before they filmed the last movie for Star Wars.
That or Elon Musk.
Yeah.
All those crypto scams with Elon Musk. Or Paul Walker, the Fast and Furious 8, I think it was. Mm-hmm. He died halfway through the filming of that. So they had his brother stand in and they used all the past images of him to make it look like he finished the movie.
Yeah.
Didn't make me cry, guys. Just kidding. Don Rickles played, I don't know if it was Ham, but he played Mr. Potato Head.
Oh, that was it. That was it. Yeah, not Ham. Yeah, you're right. It was Mr. Potato Head.
It was Wrinkles, not Runkles, right? Not Runkle.
Whatever, Glenn.
What I do remember is back in the day when on Howard Stern. Do you guys remember Artie Lang at all?
Yeah.
Artie Lang. Yeah.
Artie Lang.
The comedian?
Yeah, the comedian. Like, I mean, he was just, he had the best gig, but freaking heroin is a terrible drug. I'll tell you what.
Was he the one that had the worst first pitch of the Mets game ever? And Howard?
No, that was Gary. That was Baba Booey. Yeah, but no, Artie was just he just had some of the funniest stories. But he had a story about the first time he met Don Rickles, and the guy came up to him. He's like, "Look at you, you little baby gorilla." Like, he was just so mean. But it was every time he would tell a story, he'd be dying laughing, but nobody else was laughing. But he just thought it was the funniest damn thing ever.
Gosh.
I was a big Stern fan back in the day. Not so much anymore, though.
Yeah, I've heard his show changed a lot as of recently. But even when he moved to Sirius XM exclusive, I think he was okay for a bit, and then I think was it COVID? After COVID, he took a huge turn for the worse.
Even before COVID, so I would say the first 5 years on Sirius, he was pretty good. But then, I don't know if it was just having daughters. I wonder if daughters changed him, his perspective on life. And I know he was in therapy for a long time as well. Not saying that there's anything wrong with him and nothing wrong with me, but it's kind of an interesting perspective. He's definitely, if you were to listen to it now, and I haven't listened to it in a while, it's still over the top wildness of how would you say it? He's not picking, or he's not doing anything against women anymore. But when it comes to homosexual stuff, it is all over the board. It's just wild. But there's more of a respect, I guess you could say, for women. And that's the only thing I can think is I think he's.
You don't think that has anything to do with just maturity in general?
I guess 60 now. If he hasn't matured by then, that's his brand.
Well, there's inner voice and outside voice, right? And maybe his conscience is starting to get the better of him.
I don't know. I think daughters change me a lot. So
that's true,
especially as they get older. I think that's my thing. But I could be wrong. That's the only thing I can think of. I still like a good fart joke though, which still kind of aligns with his mantra today. From a comedian side, but yeah, from a very, what would you say? He's not base. What's the opposite of base? I guess woke. Is that what
woke.
It is?
Yeah.
Woke. Definitely more of a woke person.
For our last topic, and it'll be a rotating topic every week. This week, we're going to talk about what is the first thing you do when you enter a hotel room. We all travel quite a bit. I know Brian is actually in one right now. What is your routine?
Outside of turn the lights on? What are you talking about?
Yes, outside of turning the lights on.
I mean, obviously, the first thing I do is shit. You have to edit that out. Oh, for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's that you hold it in for the plane ride and the airport, and once you get into your hotel room, that's
so. Let's reframe this.
Brian was actually early to the call, but he was just taking a 20-minute.
Yeah. So you can use this audio. The first thing I do when I arrive in a hotel room is use the restroom, because let's be honest with you, like if you get to the airport early, it's still disgusting. It's an airport, right? And you don't want to dump on the plane. That's not respectful to anybody. And the same thing when you get off the plane, you don't want to do it. Man, I just make a beeline right for that, and then I unpack.
So
Pants
to speak,
around
yes.
the ankles. Just kidding.
Oh,
What about you guys?
I go straight to the window and I open it and see what my view is going to be like.
Oh, there's no views where we're at.
No, definitely not. We have a whole Slack channel for that.
Oh, poor guys.
I see a
Air conditioner. Air conditioner. Air conditioning
I'm on the
unit.
first floor too.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
What I do is I go in, and if I haven't already assessed, like if it's a big hotel, like when we were at the Caesars or the Harrah's, and I just go to the elevator, go to my room. So the first thing I do is I close the door. I look at the map that's posted of the floor plan.
You fucking nerd.
Behind the door.
Where's my escape route?
All the exits. I do a search
my
and
gosh.
assess for the room. I go to the window. I make sure it's closed. Make sure it can't be open. If I'm on a high floor, I just check all the possible entry points for somebody. And oh, by the way, I always travel with a Surefire flashlight too, because you always need a flashlight by your bed in case the power goes out or there's smoke. Then you have that flashlight to be able to see where you're gonna go.
Do you check the closet to see if someone's hiding inside there?
No,
You look under the bed for a monster.
or are you like my wife that you wipe everything down with some antibacterial wipes
no,
just to make sure
not,
that there's
I'm
not
not that
COVID
bad.
anywhere?
No, and actually, of the many years I've been traveling for work, I never watch the TV, so I never turn on the TV, even if I have time to kill. Like I'll put the TV on my iPad, but I never watch the hotel TV for some reason.
Oh wow!
Yeah, same. Does anyone else take a black flashlight and look for disgusting
light.
stains?
No, I don't want to know.
The one thing I've heard is you should actually check for bed bugs, because that's a real thing, and you could bring that home in your luggage. That they are really resilient, and they will.
So
travel
I
home
actually
with you.
do that. I do check for bed bugs.
Yeah,
So they said there's things like you could pull the mattress away from the headboard, because they'll always change the sheets, so you can't tell that. But if you pull the mattress away from the headboards, if you see signs of bed bugs, that's the place to look.
Have you guys ever met anyone that took bed bugs home? Like it is
No.
pretty nasty.
Yeah, I've heard stories of it. I don't know anyone personally that's done it, but I've also heard of people that when they come home, they unpack their luggage in the bathtub and leave it there for 3 days or something just to make sure, and then if that's good, then they'll bring the luggage into the rest of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't set my luggage down on the bed or anything like that. I use that little fold-out thing.
Yeah.
I'm super sketched out.
So on a related note of what I had to bleep out of Brian saying was the comforter. So the comforters on the bed, the top layer, they rarely get changed. I don't know if that's a wide known fact about the hotel industry. They change the sheets because that touches your body. The sheet above that, maybe not, but the comforters rarely get washed. So I rip away the comforter before I lay on top of the bed.
Yeah, when we were in Vegas with Chris, there was a whole the sheet or the comforter was on the floor. Remember that was balled up in the corner. I was like, "What the hell happened here?" And then he had this map. It looked like it was drawn with crayons of his escape route in case something terrible happened.
Hey, it's better to be prepared. Not needed, right?
And his flashlight right next to it.
Chris, you don't check the Bible for 20?
No, I think I did that as a kid because I heard those stories, but then after checking too many of them and not getting rewarded, I kind of gave up on that.
But
the baby.
You actually believe there's a 20 inside there? Has anyone ever picked up a 20
I've
inside
heard
of a
that.
Bible?
I don't know if it's an urban legend, but yeah, it's like people that get
It's gotta be
rewarded for
urban
reading
legend.
the Bible. Yeah. So listeners out there, if you've ever found a 20 or money in the Bible, let us know.
All right. I got one question for you guys. What temperature do you guys set the room to when you guys get in? Or do you guys don't even touch it?
Yeah, Chris is a terrorist, or a serial killer. Come on, Chris, tell us
Brian's
what it's
gonna
at.
roast me for that one.
Yeah. Let's keep it a chilly 80 degrees.
71, 72? It varies because like a 71 in one hotel doesn't equal a 71 in another hotel, so you kind of have to do it by feel.
Yeah.
No, thank you. As low as it can go. I got this son cranked down to 60 right now.
Oh my gosh. That's like freezing.
That's why he's wearing a hoodie and a jacket in this hotel room like a psycho.
Yeah.
No, I'm wearing a hoodie because I didn't want you to see the shirt I was wearing. And that sounds weird saying that out loud. Yeah. But whatever. And yeah, I'm not cold. You're cold.
Yeah. Yeah, I set mine to 73. So. In the wintertime, I set it to 73. In the summertime, I set it to about 71. So
in Chicago, it let me set it to 55.
Oh,
and
wow.
It got so cold in my room, it actually turned off at one point in time.
Did it frost? Was there icicles hanging inside the room?
Over.
There may have been. Yeah. What was that, Chris?
I was going to say, yeah, there might have been frost, and that's the reason it turned off.
Oh, it clicked back on after a nice lengthy fart.
Nice
warmed it up a little bit.
What's your routine, Glenn?
As far as what, getting into the room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I walked in, turned the lights on, I dump my bags, I go to the window, I check to see what's outside, see what's around. Depending on where I'm coming from, if I'm coming from dinner, I'm probably like Geach and I'll head straight to the bathroom. If I'm just trying to relax, then I go check the temperature, turn the TV on because I like my noise. I like noise.
Yeah, one of the things I do is when I check in, I almost always ask the front desk person what's a good place to eat around here because I always trust the locals. Like if you go on Yelp or the reviews or anything, those could be skewed. But if you ask the locals, I respect their opinion a lot more.
You'll respect it a lot less when they say Denny's. You're like, oh, whatever.
I'm at that point to where I've traveled a lot, and I'm staying pretty much at the same hotels wherever I go. How about you guys? You guys stay at the same hotels, or you guys at different hotels, or wherever? It doesn't matter.
It's wherever corporate puts us, unfortunately, depending who we're visiting.
That's rough. That's really rough.
When I got to choose my hotel,
habit.
Yeah, and I had a customer in a specific location, I would visit them a lot, then I would always stay in the same hotel.
Yeah, same. Although if I can stay in a place that I'm already familiar with, I'll do it. But as of this last year, I feel like I've been going all over the place, all new places all the time.
We continue to get great comments about our dad joke of the week. Dad joke of the week. This week, I'm up. Every morning, I announce to my family that I'm going jogging, but then I don't go. It's a running joke.
Wah.
All right, to wrap things up, Apple is implementing contact verification. The Mozi Botnet is dead. AI-powered kidnapping is becoming a thing. And always check for exit pass when checking into a hotel. That's all I have for this week. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. You find us on LinkedIn. Links will be in the description. Follow us on Instagram at PEBCAK Podcast. Thank you to all our listeners and subscribers who rated us 5 stars in the iTunes Store and Spotify and left us a review. We appreciate you all spreading the word to help grow the show. The best way to find us is to search for the PEBCAK Podcast in your favorite podcast listening app. My co-host Brian Deach and Glenn Medina. I'm Chris Louie. Thanks for listening. We'll see you all next week, and as always, have a nice day.
Share this with 10 friends or I am going to kill myself.
Hi, Felicia.
Have a nice day.